Hey everybody, Bill 1911 here. Hey, we're here at the gun shop. We're going to do another one of those things that we did like Regions Bank. Well, not Regions Bank, Regions Guns and Ammo. We're over here today and we are going to show you the last bang, okay? So we're going to go from there. Okay, well we've got, if you look here, we've got a whole bunch of 1911s. If you like 1911s.
They are my absolute favorite.
1911s
are such a sweet gun.
Yeah, me too.
They shoot like butter.
Oh, they do, aren't they? Aren't they wonderful? You know, I sometimes make the mistake of saying I don't like Glocks, and it isn't that I don't like them.
They just don't make what I consider a real gun. They just feel.
Yeah, they don't feel great in my hand, and the thing that I've never enjoyed about a Glock is the trigger. I just don't like the trigger. After you've shot a 1911 and you have that trigger, you know, it's like your first kiss. You'll never go back.
I have started a collection of Kimber two-tones, and I now have them in 45, 9mm, the micro 45, and now I'm trying to get that 380 that's down there.
Yeah, I just converted one over to 9mm, and I'm just, you know, putting,
every Kimber 1911 style that comes in here.
Skeleton hammer, you got to change the dovetail with it. Or beaver tail, excuse me. I keep calling it dovetail, but it's beaver tail.
Oh, no. This is going to be the next one in my collection. This is the one that I keep eyeing out.
That's the one you keep eyeing?
This is the one I keep eyeing.
Oh, now this is a beauty right here.
It's amazing. I have it in all sizes. All sizes, all calibers.
Okay. If you noticed, the first thing we did was to clear the gun to make sure there was no ammunition in it. We remove the magazine, make sure there's nothing in it, and we pull the slide back and physically look in the chamber to see that there is no ammunition in the chamber. We always do that because, you know, we do want to keep safety first. It's important. We can't rely on somebody else to be safe. We have to do it. So the other thing that I don't know if you noticed, but we're making sure that this is not pointed at anybody. Sometimes we get into a situation where there's people everywhere around us and there really isn't a perfectly safe direction. So you do the very best you can to avoid pointing at anybody. That is very cool.
And you always keep your finger off the trigger.
Yeah, always finger off trigger until you're ready to shoot.
Use it.
That's correct. Yeah.
Only true safety is your finger.
I agree. I agree. That's well said. In fact, I've actually said that before. But
I say it every time I do a firearms class.
That's fantastic. Oh, I love this. This is a cutie.
I am probably one of the most unique in firearms instructors because I started at 21 and I was the first female for the other gun shop I used to work for, which is where we met.
Fantastic. Take a look here. This is 380 auto, okay? Now if you notice, on all these guns, right on the barrel somewhere, you're going to find the caliber of the gun. So I want to always caution you to only use the ammunition that is correct for that gun. Now, as you can see, this is actually a working gun shop, so these guys are actually in business with this.
And you always want to make sure that you check the actual caliber on the bottom.
Absolutely, yeah.
That it matches.
Right. You do that because if you overpressure one of these things, they can potentially come apart in your hand, and you don't want that to happen. Okay, and let me give you that back. So we've got a whole line of Derringers down here. Check these guys out. A little over and under 2-barrel guys. All right. Down here we got a couple of old style revolvers. Remind you of the Wild West. Ah, there's something else, aren't they? All right, and down here we have, oh, look at those. Aren't those lovely? I'll tell you what, there's a gun here for everybody. That's the cool thing about guns. If you have one that doesn't really fit your style or doesn't really fit your hand, pick up another one. Try another one. It's important for a gun to physically fit you as well as fit your purpose. So if you have like, well, I have a Walther PPK, and the gun is just too darn small for my hand. So it's very difficult for me to shoot. So I don't shoot it much. But my 1911, that sure gets a lot of exercise. Okay, everybody, we're here with Kristen, Kamali, and Keon. Keon is the owner of the shop here, and this is his lovely wife, Kristen. And I'm sorry, Kristen, I got to put you in second place, but the baby is just prettier. I mean, come on, come on.
Look at her with her little last bang onesie.
So, you know, the thing is, sometimes people, when they hear, you know, gun shop, they hear guns, they get this impression that there's something different about it. But these are just people like everybody else. They're just a family, and this is their business, and this is how they make their living. So, Keon, so how long have you owned the shop?
We started the business on January 2nd.
January 2nd of this year. All right, so you've been open about, what, 5 months then? Okay.
5 months.
Well, that's great. And so, well, you have quite an inventory. You've got a lot in here.
Yeah, I purchased it from the predecessor.
Well, there you go. I understand that your guys are going to do some renovation.
Definitely.
Are you
Right
going to
now,
open up, like maybe take another unit and do 2 units? Or?
Yeah, right now the shop is undergoing renovation. We ripped out the carpet. We're thinking about maybe taking over one of the adjacent units and expanding that way, so we have more room for more business ideas.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea, because you've got so much in here. I mean, I love it, but it's almost hard to see the individuals because there's so many of them. But,
that's why we want to change
gorgeous.
the floor layout. Everything is kind of as is. The shop has been like this for over 40 years.
Wow.
And we just started to change the way it looks and try to make it look a little bit more presentable. Because we're a little bit tired of that old grungy gun shop.
Yeah.
There's plenty of those around the country, and if you want to see one of those, there's shops out there that do it better than we do. So I definitely want to make the showroom a lot more friendly to newcomers. That's what we're all about. We want to attract the younger generation into the gun industry and get them fueled for like a passion in guns. The same way I did when I was first buying my first gun at 18.
Yeah. I started when I was actually a little kid. I was about 7 years old, and I was debating people on gun control back in the 60s.
Yeah,
and
that must have been rough.
Actually, it was pretty easy.
Really?
Well, when you have people that everything is about the way they feel at the time and not really a lot of facts. So if you could present the facts, it wasn't hard. And it really wasn't. And I did pretty well at it.
Well, I guess people back then were a lot more sensible.
It was a different world back then, I gotta say. Back then, they still allowed archery in schools.
People still carry their
awesome.
guns to school, I believe, right?
Some people, some schools, I should say, actually have rifle programs.
Oh, I wish. That would be the class I teach.
Yeah, the
I'm a
Boy
school
Scouts. The Boy Scouts had guns. They shot, you know. So it was a different world, and it's unfortunate that we decided to develop phobia about an object. The gun is the tool. If you're going to do something crazy, you're going to do the crazy thing, not the gun. The gun doesn't have any choice. It's just along for the ride, you know. Nobody ever talks about knife violence. They talk about gun violence. Well, there's no such thing as gun violence. It's just violence. So anyway,
Agreed. The gun is not the perpetrator. It's usually the person.
Right. To me,
Tell me about these.
So these are something we're just starting to sell in our shop. It's a local friend of ours who does a lot of woodwork.
Amazing woodwork.
He takes custom orders. This specifically he made so he could donate them to either a firefighter or a U.S. service member. He does have another one that is a blue stripe, so that way he can give it to a police officer or any other service member.
yeah, that's what I did back in the day. I was ex-cop a long time ago.
Yeah, this is definitely. And it's perfect that they coming in right at this time. These are this is Gio, sergeant for the Bearded Villains Miami.
John.
And John.
Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you. Where's my title?
You're the enforcer.
Who's enforcer?
My enforcer. So, fun fact, we didn't talk about this when we first started, but I'm also a bearded villain for the Miami chapter. This is my enforcer, John, holding my daughter. He also just had a baby not too long ago.
2 years ago.
There you go.
So can you tell us what the Bearded Villains are about?
Bearded Villains, we're an organization that tries to change the mold and the stigmata that people have of men with beards and tattoos. a lot of people like to think that, they seem to think that just because you have tattoos and a beard, you're like some criminal or some grungy dude, but what we do, we try to help people and do a lot of charity work.
Yeah, we're an official 501c nonprofit. We've been running since 2015. Basically doing everything that we can do for the community. Every Thanksgiving, we bless families. Every Christmas. Last Christmas we blessed 150 kids with 5 gifts each. And that's something that recurs every year. Every time that we get to do anything, support our family, open a business, we have a huge support system. And it's been a blessing.
Well, that's fantastic. That's what we need in the world is
Yes, sir.
more giving.
Yes, sir, exactly. And that's what we're all about.
Thank you guys for doing that. I mean, it's important.
I think we're going to be at the memorial, the Veterans Memorial.
Yeah,
So
we're
come
trying
on.
to, every year for Memorial Day, we go out and lay out roses.
And this is going to be for Memorial Day.
Yeah, every year, Memorial Day. We go out there and show our respects. A few brothers have family out there as well that served. And so we go out there just show love and respect to everybody.
Were you guys in the military?
I wasn't, but we do have brothers that have been in the military.
Okay. Well, like I said, thanks for doing what you
for
do.
sure, man.
It's an important thing to get done.
Thank you.
All right, so there you have it, the bearded villains. They tell me I'm qualified, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah, so anyway, I think I qualify on the villain part too, at some point, at least somewhere, What are you gonna do?
Okay.
All right, so what's the dog's name?
His name is Colt.
Colt. You like the gun?
Like the gun.
Oh, that's too cool. That's just entirely too cool. A dog named Colt.
I mean, I love 1911s.
Uh-huh. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I have one that you probably would fall in love with.
Oh, I need to see it.
It's a 1941, and it is mint.
Oh.
I mean, it's
When you
mint.
guys come back, I want to see that one.
I will try to bring it the next time I come back. and show
How much
it
money
you
do I
guys.
need to buy it?
It's not for sale. That's the one that I inherited from my father.
Aw.
Yeah, back in the day, you could actually buy a gun through the mail from back in 1968. And yes, I do go back that far. Trust me, I was a cop long before you were born.
Oh, this was our feature for our Star Wars May the 4th Be With You Day.
Uh-huh. And that was for like the 4th of July? That is very cool. Is that something special or what? A white Steyr AUG.
That?
Yeah.
That is
This is a
a
gun.
set me original. Well,
Okay,
not
it's
a
a set me,
reproduction
okay.
of an original set me L.
Oh, very cool.
The Spanish military used to use these, I think, just before the HK 91 or 93 was made.
Yeah.
They take Stanag mags. The ones back then were not marine coated like these from Marklemar, so they used to rust really bad, and they eventually did away with them.
Right.
But Marklemar made a very good reproduction version of it. I remember somebody online was saying that these guns are not very good, but I like them a lot. I think they shoot wonderfully, and they have a couple little quirky features that I always found really interesting.
Which are?
For example, so when this gun locks to the rear, it doesn't actually have an auto bolt lock. You have to press
You have
this
to do
button
it,
here
by
to
hand.
lock it, which I found really awkward and weird. And then on the other side, you have the release, which is hard to
Hard to make
actuate.
it work, yeah.
But either way, I still think it's a really cool looking gun. Kind of gives me like what's that gun from FN called? I always forget.
Foul?
FAL?
Not the FAL. The FNC.
FNC,
It
okay.
gives me FNC vibes, but obviously FNC is a completely different animal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Well, that's a neat gun. I didn't recognize it as being a set-me. I've seen set-me's before, but I didn't recognize it
the
at all.
Set Me L is this one, and then the Set Me is the 308 version that you're probably thinking
That's
of,
what I'm familiar with,
which
yeah.
is eventually HK adopted.
Yeah.
I forget
In
the
the
model.
HK 91, I believe.
91.
Yeah.
And then the 93 is the 5.56.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I've got one of those HK 91s. Well, that's a neat gun.
Yes, it is.
Look at that.
Heavy.
That's,
Yeah, it
how much
is.
does she weigh?
A lot.
She's not that bad. My .308 that I used to snipe with actually weighed a lot more than this.
Set me up.
Right there, okay. Says so right on the side of it. Now we know what she is. And see here we have 5.56. Let me turn this sideways. I'm not pointed at anybody. Okay. If you look here, it tells you the caliber. Okay, 5.56 or 2.23. So this guy will shoot both. All right. So you're not going to run into a pressure problem if you shoot 5.56 in this gun. Okay, so like all gun shops, these guys have got a full line of accessories. If you need pouches, you need holsters, whatever you need, they've got it. Okay, they've got cleaning kits. Oh, they've got my junk on the floor, so we don't have to worry about that. But everything you need is here. Okay. There's no gun in the world that doesn't need to be cleaned. This is the solution to all that. They have handles, they've got just whatever you need, they've got it.
Thing to put in.
Okay, here at the Last Bang, they also carry sights.
Yeah, it's lighter than the
Take a look down here, you've got little red dot scopes.
The Premier one, it's
Okay.
actually a flexible.
You've got holographic sights up here on the top. If you look in through the top, you can see these hollow sights. Okay, these are Trigicon.
Right.
All right.
So,
They have
flexible, it needs to be touching the body.
optical rifle scopes.
Yeah, so
Okay, so this store has a full line of anything and everything you need
Yeah, I would want
for
one.
all your shooting fun.
Just get a mock-up here with the measurement. Measure.
Okay, they've also got some really neat Cerakotes on some of these ARs that are up here on the wall. If you take, they got a very patriotic one up there. I love it.
no, we just gotta wait
Now,
for
if they don't have it,
Right.
I promise you they can get it.
That's yours?
We take special orders.
Belgian Malinois.
All right, what was that again?
We do special orders, so anything you want that we don't have in store,
This is
we
Bill
can order it.
applied. They're
So-
nice to meet you. Bill 1911 ink.
How you doing?
Hey Bill, how are you? They have their own YouTube channel.
Nice to meet you.
Are you guys are the armor guys?
MC
MC Armor. Uh-huh.
Sebastian and Sebastian.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
both
Let me get a card.
Double Sebastian. Double trouble, double trouble. That's how it goes.
Yes, I know.
Whatever you need to let us know.
I know. Who wants some attention? We're kind of working here.
We have also our show in the evening, like training of the
Perfect.
and we need more than
I know.
training.
Okay, you ready
I
for that
would love
again?
to know more about your product and actually know how to sell it. Because I don't know body armor, so for me to sell body armor is psych.
Yeah, we can do it.
Someone asked me what caliber stops and like the one that goes bang.
44 Magnum. That's the highest caliber.
All right, so you're gonna tell us about the bang bucket?
So I was going to tell you guys about my bang bucket. Our bang bucket is a kind of like a promotion thing that we have going on with our Shields Easies. It comes with a pistol cleaning mat that rolls up. It's nice and fluffy on the inside. A bottle of cleaning spray and something that we sold, so we're waiting for more. We have a multi-caliber pistol cleaning kit that comes with the rods and the spirals for any caliber you would need.
I understand.
And this cleaning bundle is an extra $100 on top of whatever.
Right,
We have
right.
16 bases.
So we have like the Shield Easy in black, we have it in purple, we have a few different Shield Easies.
Okay, and so that's the bang that goes along with the
It's
last bang.
exactly.
Right, I got
Get
it.
the best bang for your buck.
Fantastic.
You know what's gonna be even cuter in the bang bucket?
What's
It's
it?
a thick boy.
The baby?
Baby.
All right.
You ready?
Now, look at
It's
that.
not for sale.
Yeah, she's not for sale, but this really makes this a heck of a bang bucket right there, doesn't it? All right. Oh, and she's being brought up right with a respect for cars. Look at that.
And today we're having our first annual car and bike show.
And that's for a fundraiser for the bearded villains, correct?
Bearded Villains, and for Carlito Pastelito. He had a stroke that left him unable to do his day job. He was washing cars and detailing cars. So since the stroke, he hasn't been able to actually do a lot of work. So this event is really to help him out and get him on his feet again.
Raise money for him and help him out.
Fantastic.
Yes, sir.
That's cool. Fantastic. All right. So when somebody comes in here to buy a gun, all gun shops, it's the same thing. They have to fill out a form 4477.
4473.
4473. Okay.
We are electronic now, so we have ours all digital.
Okay, so you do all that, but they still have to answer the same questions. You know, are you a convicted felon? Are you a drug addict? Are you just common sense
Yep.
questions?
And a lot of people think that once you get your citizenship back after having a felony, that you could get a firearm. But you can't. Once you're a felon, no matter if you get your right to vote back, you never get your right of firearm back unless you've been pardoned.
Unless adjudicated by the court of pardon. Yes, I understand. So that's so it's like all gun shops. You know, you're going to have to do the paperwork, and you're going to have to follow the federal regulations. Sometimes things are talked about loopholes. Well, there's no loophole. You still have to fill this out. Let's say these guys wanted to go to a gun show and sell guns at the gun show, okay? They still have to do the paperwork. They still have to do that background check. They have to do all of that. So all of these laws are consistent with all gun shops.
Are looking for like a dog like that.
Hey everybody, Bill 1911 here. Hey listen, if you're watching this video, if you're enjoying it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, okay? That's really important to us. And make sure you like us, and by all means, come to visit us at AskBill1911.com. Okay, just to clarify something that happened. Now, I'm not allowed to criticize anybody that's a presenter of any kind of material, so I can't say who did this. But there was a TV station that put up a story that said that once the permitless carry law was passed, that you could get a gun without a background check, and that is simply not true. No matter what, you still have to do the paperwork, you still have to follow the law. And here's the thing, no matter what state law is passed, those laws that we have to do here, these are federal. Those forms are federal. You can't get away from that. It still has to happen. The InstaCheck system, now that's something that we use, and it goes by a different name now.
We do our background checks using the FDLE.
FDLE, okay.
Other states use the NICS.
Okay, yeah. I've heard somebody else talk about NICS at another shop. So anyway, you still have to go through this background check, okay? So no matter what, the law about carrying a gun without a permit, you still can't get one unless you do it the right way. There's no doubt about that. All right, and if you look closely, you can already see that she's already got herself wrapped right around his finger. Yep, she's already got him. There's no doubt. You can tell by the grin on the face. So take a look down here. We've got another one of them. One of the infamous pink guns. Look at that.
This is the Glock 19, Gen 5 in rose.
Look at that. That's a Glock 19. So if you're a Glock fan and you're a lady and you're looking for pink, or if you're even just a Miami Vice fan and you're looking for pink, there you go. This is the actual color is rose.
I think it's just rose is what it said on the box.
Okay.
And you don't discriminate those guys who like pink guns too.
No. I was saying. I mean, if you like pink guns, it's cool. Yeah. Well.
And if it's great in a woman's hands.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. See, the only problem I would have with this particular piece is, I'm afraid it would be like what you were saying about that white Steyr, about getting it dirty.
Surprisingly, those don't get that dirty. I have a Tiffany blue version of it.
Really? Oh, I'd love to see that. Do you have it here?
I don't have it with me.
Okay.
That one's at home.
All right.
She usually leaves it with her mom. That's the only gun she's trained on.
Okay, cool. All right. So you trained your mom. You were her instructor?
I was her instructor.
Fantastic.
We're actually doing a repeat training this week.
So this is a Torino rifle. I believe the manufacture date was like 1901 or something.
1901?
Or was it 1890? I don't remember. Yeah. To be honest with you, I would be lying if I could give you real accurate information. The only thing there is 1883.
1883.
Wow,
yeah.
good times. There goes for my memory.
Have you ever heard of a needle gun?
Vaguely, but I would be lying if I could tell you what it is
I
exactly.
have one. I'll have to bring it in here and show it to you sometime. It's a bolt-action rifle. Use paper cartridges, okay? And on the end of the bolt, there's a needle sticking out. Now the primer cap is built into that paper cartridge, so that needle penetrates the back of the cartridge and pinches the primer between the bullet and that needle, and that's what sets it off. And then the paper cartridge burns and boom, off she goes.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool, yeah. It's a
I
neat
gotta
gun.
definitely check that out.
Okay, this Torino rifle has a lot of similarities to the Carcano carbine, or Carcano rifle. One of the things about it is when you close the bolt, you've got to put a pretty good amount of force in this to close it, which means the action is very slow. The Carcano is actually worse. It's a slower action than this one. It's very difficult to manipulate the bolt. Now back in the day, everybody said Lee Harvey Oswald used that to shoot Kennedy, and I defy him. I really defy him. There's no way that that guy cycled that bolt enough times to shoot between those trees. There's just no way. That rifle is just too damn slow. So I've always been curious about why they kept saying that. But if you look down here in inside the action, this lever down here, okay, there's a clip that you put into the gun, okay, that the bullets are loaded into. And this lever advances each round up into position, so the next round you can pick it up with a bolt, put it in the chamber. So it's just an interesting rifle, and it's an old dog. Look at that. What did we say this was? 1883. How about that?
Torino.
And it's a Torino rifle.
If only we had the bayonet.
Oh, that would be cool.
It's got the lug there.
Yep, it's there.
That makes the gun even longer.
Yeah, can you imagine that? Do you know if this was a spike bayonet? It probably was.
Probably, for sure.
Yeah, more than likely a spike bayonet.
A work
And those spike bayonets would be about that long. So that would bring the total of this thing to 6 foot, 6'5".
A little bit bigger than the
Yeah.
Wesson.
Yeah, so that's a very long piece of hardware to carry. The good news is if you run out of bullets, you don't have to get that close to the guy. So,
That's pretty big.
yeah. Okay, I see we have a green Steyr up here. So what can you tell us about this Steyr?
The first time I ever saw this gun was in the movie Die Hard with Bruce Willis, and it was that guy with the long, flowing blonde hair, and I was like, wow,
Right,
that's a vibe right there. This is a super cool rifle. What I do know about it, I guess the most functional thing I know about it is that these things will operate in the harshest of weather conditions, whether it be in snow or sand. I've seen a couple tests done where they've poured water on this gun in freezing conditions, waited for it to completely freeze over, and the gun still functions.
Still functions.
So I thought that was super cool. Shout out to, I guess, Garantha for that video.
Right,
He's the one who did it. But yeah, this is
pretty
very cool.
cool.
This one here is actually the US mag version. It takes all US regular Stanag mags. I prefer the one with the waffle pattern. Those tend to sell out a little bit faster, but this one's definitely functional if you don't want to carry different magazines.
Right.
You can get the Steyr AUG A3 M1 with the US mags.
That's very cool. That's very neat. Yeah, I remember seeing that in that movie when you're bringing it up. I saw that movie. Yeah. That wasn't the first time I'd seen one, but yeah, that's pretty cool.
Here we go. I pulled out another firearm that we had in the back. This is a used gun that we get typically in the store. Sometimes people bring us their guns and we buy it from them, or we go to their houses and we do a house call and buy their guns from the comfort of their homes. This is one that we got from a customer. This is an MSAR. It's basically a clone of the Steyr AUG. The cool thing about it is that it does take the waffle pattern mags that I was talking about earlier.
Okay. And why do you prefer the waffle pattern mags?
From what I've seen, the waffle pattern mags are much more reliable in like harsh weather conditions, whereas these, for some reason, stuff still gets inside the mag, and these mags tend to freeze over more.
Okay.
I think it's maybe because of the design of the mag.
Maybe so.
So MSAR, this is made by a company called Microtech. You might know them. They're the ones who make those really high-end quality knives.
Right.
They tried their hand at firearms, and for whatever reason, didn't do so well. And this gun is actually, I think, what bankrupted the company.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Thankfully, they're still around. They still make knives, which is thankfully super cool. So if you're looking for Microtech knives, we recently came across contact that we were able to get Microtech.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. Cool thing about the MSAR, so if you ever come across one of these, the barrels are interchangeable with the Steyr AUG barrel. So you can take original Steyr AUG barrels, put it on the MSAR, and it'll function. But reverse, the MSAR barrels won't go onto the Steyr.
Really? That's very interesting. I wonder why. All right, now I was told that the number 88 on this, on the side of it, is the same year as the gun shop owner's birth year. So he was born in 1988. And God, does that make me feel old.
So cool thing about the MSARs and the Steyrs is that they both have adjustable gas. So if you ever want to run a suppressor on them, you could do that pretty simply.
Right.
And one of the cool things that people probably saw this in the movie, I think it's called The Professional, with Natalie Portman and I forget the French actor. The gun completely comes apart with a twist of the barrel. Oopsies, I can't.
But you got to get it unlocked. Yeah.
This one's a little bit finicky. There we go. So
The whole thing comes right out.
takes apart, and then you can store it like that in the case.
Well, that's kind of a neat feature.
Yeah.
Interrupted thread on that barrel. That's cool.
It's very cool. And I believe this here is where you can like thread on the suppressor that's made specifically for this gun.
Right.
Same thing.
And so you wouldn't have to, would you have to, I don't think you, I'm not sure whether you'd have to take the
You don't have to take the muzzle break off
It
at
doesn't
all.
look like it.
It goes right on here, and I think it threads right onto that.
It's pretty cool.
And then I believe also this folds down, so it allows you to store it a little bit easier
Right,
as well.
right.
So, super cool gun.
That is a neat gun. Yep.
Definitely on my top 5 for favorite bullpup rifles.
Yeah, I've got. Okay, so this is a PTR. It's an MP5 clone. I was thinking it looks a lot like an MP5 because it does look like an MP5. It's a neat little gun.
It's the PTR MP5 pistol, I guess, or the PTR 9 pistol.
Yeah.
Comes with the CTS clear mags,
Okay.
and you get one of these, you're able to do the famous HK slap.
Yeah, yeah. Which if you don't hit it right, it isn't going to go. We had a kid that we were doing an MP5 with at a gun a range.
Demonstration,
Yeah, and we were doing a demonstration with it. And he, and if you don't hit it hard enough, it's not going to overcome that little ramp right there and drop down.
And that eventually bulges with time.
Yeah, and this is eventually, if you keep pounding it, will end up wearing out. So myself, if I'm going to hit this thing, I'm going to hit it back and down like that to drop it. And that works better with these. So that's just me.
For sure.
But yeah. So I have a little experience with MP5s.
You would do it as a righty. You would come up. You would be holding it like this, and you would do that.
Yep.
Okay.
A little faster for me, but
Because I'm wondering is if you load, after you load, this hand's already free.
right.
So
I mean,
the only
you
thing
can.
I would do is, just because it sure function, I would just come over the top and just go like
Yeah,
that.
that's
way. I think that's
the
way
easiest
faster.
way to do it. It's a lot faster. That's true. Yeah.
But nothing.
But if you want to do that cool slap thing, I'd do it with a left hand or maybe
And it's
right hand.
the
Yeah.
slap is cool, but I think it is slower.
It always definitely slower, but it does look cool. Makes good movies. But a lot of stuff in the movies look good on movies, but they're not really real. You know, like you see a guy clearing a house, a law enforcement officer, he'll have the gun way out in front of him, and he's walking out to a doorway with the gun way out in front of him. So the gun gets there before he does.
And it presents to the entire.
It presents to everybody that's in
room.
that room,
Yeah.
right? So instead, what I was trained to do is keep the gun here, okay?
Yep, close.
Fixed here, up close, it's hard to get to, and whatever I'm facing, it's going to be facing. So, and that's the way I was trained to do it when you clear a room. So,
That's. Yeah, that one's from. Oh my God, Serbia. That's Zastava. Is the way they pronounce it.
Zastava.
I was gonna say Zastava, and I didn't want to mess that up. Also a Zastava pistol.
Yep. So those are actually made in Serbia for the Serbian army.
Sir, I brought you an
let's just hear
empanada
it.
also because just,
So this is the Glock 45. It's basically a 17 sized grip or frame with a Glock 19 size slide.
Now that 45 is the model, not the caliber.
Yeah, 45 is the model. A lot of people confuse it. So it is a 9mm, just like the Glock 19 or Glock 17. And then recently, Glock came out with the Glock 47. I believe this was made for CBP or another department, but it's basically the same thing. It has a Glock 45 styled frame, but the slide is a 17 size slide, and it has a rounded front section here, so that way it doesn't have a gap. Whereas if you were to take a regular 17 Gen 5 slide and put it on here, you would have a space and you would see the recoil spring underneath.
Yeah.
They said that this is supposed to replace the 17. I hope they don't replace the 17 completely, because I know there are people who still like to have the full
They like that 17, yeah.
full Picatinny. But yeah, all of them should be coming with the cutout for a red dot that they call MOS.
Yeah, that's one of the things I wanted to ask you was about whether they were all going to come that way, milled out like that.
Everyone I've seen so far, they're all MOS. So I think that's cool. If you're familiar with the Glock lineup, some of the new features on the Gen 5s are the flared mag well. There's a different mechanism on the inside for the firing mechanism and functionality, and they drop down from 2 pins to 1 pin. So those are kind of a couple new features. They also added front slide serrations, and they got rid of the finger grooves on the front strap of the firearm.
Yeah.
So some of those features were kind of cool. I personally prefer the Gen 4. I like the finger grooves. And taking down the firearm on the Gen 4s, I thought were a little bit more pleasant, especially when you get down into the guts of the trigger mechanism.
Right.
But I mean, the Gen 5 is just as easy, I guess. I just have my preference on the Gen 4. One of the reasons why they removed the second pin that's on the Gen 4 is that when they added the availability of the ambidextrous slide lock or slide release, that added some structural rigidity to the platform. So that way they didn't need that extra pin.
That second pin, right?
So just to reiterate the differences between the 45, 47, and the 17. The 45 is a shorter slide, and then the 17 is a longer slide and also longer frame. So if you compare that to the 47, I'm gonna just flip it around, you can see that it doesn't have that little bit there. And if you were to actually, let me take this gun apart first.
Yeah, the slide is different.
This part right here would be exposed if it didn't have the shroud on the front. So if you try to put this on there, you'd have exposed spring, and that's no bueno.
Yeah, that would be a pinched finger for sure, sooner or later. Sooner or later. Yeah, one of the things I try to teach, I'm also a certified instructor. I see people all the time, they'll take the gun, they'll pick it up, they'll grab it like this and try to rack it. And I tell them, it's just a matter of time before you give yourself a blood blister in the palm of your hand.
Oh, on the ejection port?
Yeah,
doing this?
I see people do that all the time. I tell them, don't do that. Take the gun, point it, grab it, rack it, okay? Don't rack it with your hand over that port. And I've also seen people grab hold of the front ridges this way. I kid you not, because they're stupid. They're going to blow their hand off doing that. And I tell them, don't do that. Grab it like this, pull it back.
If you do it like this, I think that's kind of a bad day for you, but I see a lot of 1911 guys go like this, and because I believe the front of the 1911 is scalped, just like the Beretta. So they grab like this, and then they do that. And a lot of people have been like doing press checks lately to check to see if the gun is there and loaded. They finger the gun like that. Pretty cool.
Yep, that's pretty neat.
But yeah, I'm not a fan of over the top on the front like this.
Yeah, that's.
I don't mind it so much here because I know where to grab. But if you're inexperienced or like you just if you're in a rush or something, you're in the heat of the moment, you go like that, you could accidentally slingshot the gun right into your finger.
You're stronger if
I
you're
do it
pushing
like
your
this.
arms together like
I was
this.
trying to see how I do it.
Yeah.
I grab right in the rear.
Just trying to show
Yeah.
off.
See no, but the way she's holding it is good.
No, I couldn't remember how I did it. I was like, what?
Now the way you're doing that is good because you're getting the strength.
This is a Smith & Wesson Shields Easy. It is made for ease in mind. It has an easy squeeze rear grip safety. The slide, you could rack it with ease.
And are there any E's in the title of it? Or?
No, the trigger is pulled with ease.
So we've got some AKs up here that they have. We've got it looks like a Remington 870.
That is the Mossberg 590 shotgun.
That's Mossberg. Okay, looks like a Remington.
Yeah, very similar to the TAC 14.
Right.
The one on top of that, that's actually Colonial Armaments Infantry 308 rifle. We're exclusive down here in Miami with them.
Okay.
They're out of Georgia.
Is the green one below it the same?
This is it's also a 308, yeah. But this one's from SIG.
Okay.
Obviously, we're not exclusive with them. The one above that is also Colonial Armaments proprietary AR pistol. Cool thing about theirs is that you can actually buy this gun as designed. It actually has the buffer tube made into a cheek weld by design, so that way you can use it like this when you're shooting for stabilization.
Yeah.
Unlike most AR pistols, and then you can go from this to an SBR very easily just by doing your Form 1, and then they sell you, once you get the paperwork, you put the buttstock through these two holes here and it attaches.
And how long is the barrel on this?
This one I believe is a 10.5.
Okay.
But this is the Ranger Mark 19.
And it's going to be loud as heck. Yes. 223. Yeah. Okay, so we've got some more AKs up here. See
So
three
that's
of them.
the
up there.
Arsenal, another Zastava side folder with Serbian red furniture. And we got the KUSA KP9. That's a wonderful firearm if you are looking for like an MP5 alternative. That gun is phenomenal. They're actually made, I think, in West Palm Beach, Kalashnikov USA.
Okay.
And then to the right of that is the MP5 clone, the PTR. And that cool wood one below it is the
M1 carbine.
There you go. I was waiting for you.
Yeah, that one I know.
This is the
With the paratrooper
stock.
Yep.
Yeah. The cool thing about it is that I believe it just folds. It doesn't actually need to press a button or anything, and that allows them to put it right into their side satchel leg pack.
Right.
So when they were jumping, they
When
had
they were
this.
jumping, they had it right there, yeah.
Yeah, these are 20 round magazines.
It also has 30s.
30s,
30
yeah.
rounds, yeah.
But those weren't standard during World War II.
No,
those came out in I think Vietnam era.
Right.
And these are super cool. Enlin makes it, so I think they're kind of like the best reproduction.
Enlin is still making them.
I think
Actually,
so.
they're not a reproduction. They actually made them during World War II. I have one.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, I have one.
One of my old co-workers, he has inland that was made here in Hialeah, and it was dated 1943 or something like that.
Mine's a 42.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, there you go.
Mine's a full stock though. It's just a regular.
I personally don't like the way that grip feels. It's definitely cool, definitely like an
it's
interesting
large.
model, but it's kind of like big boy.
It's a little bulky, yeah.
Specifically, like all the guys
This
back
is-
then were very small too.
Yeah, this is a little square for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not bad.
But if you think about the
Okay, now the name of this company again is MC Armor.
The shirts.
Okay, all right. We have our supermodel over here, okay, and she is wearing an MC Armor vest. And this is made for ladies, as you can see. It has
contours around the lady bits.
exactly. Yeah,
Fits
see.
very nice. We also have jackets that are also armor.
Right.
And it goes right on.
Yeah, see, I like the way you put that about contours because, you know, yeah, I just like the way you put that. That sounded good, contours. And you model it so well.
Thank you.
All right, look at that.
The jacket closes, just not, I'm too fat.
Well, you got the
You
other
keep
body
going
armor
on.
underneath, so, you know.
This jacket actually feels really nice. It's very
Yeah.
fluffy.
Is it Gore-Tex?
It's very nice.
No, it's Gore-Tex, but it's a water repellent.
Okay. All right, so back in the day, back when I was in law enforcement, okay, vests apparently were different than they are now, because if you get shot in the vest back in those days, the impact trauma goes right into the meat. It goes through the vest. The bullet doesn't penetrate, but the trauma does. So would you tell us about that?
Okay, MC Armor, it's a leading body armor company. It's all of our products are certified by NIJ, so it won't affect the part of vital organs. Why? Because our back face deformation is less than 12, even with a 44 Magnum. According to NIJ 010106, trauma cannot go beyond 44 milliliters of trauma because it will be internal bleeding.
Right.
That's why our technology, our patented products, give that extra protection to our customers. We're the fewest company that is certified by NIJ with a female vest for better contour, better ergonomics, less back face deformation, and our main part is to save lives with high quality products. We extend our warranty for 8 years on the ballistic package and 1 year in the carrier. It's all part of technology, and it's part of saving lives.
Well, that's fantastic. And the models, they look much better in the, you know, I mean, they really do. I mean, having a guy model this is okay, but having a lady model it is much better.
And the great part is also to save lives.
Exactly.
For the real life viewers, it's part of law enforcement, so they are more comfortable.
Right.
This part, and we're always thinking about the protection in women. Because it's, even though it's heavy to wear a vest, it's kind of comfortable. That's why our company and our design team is always trying to get top of the line products with technology.
Yeah,
It's very light.
that's fantastic. Yeah, because back in the day,
out there, it was awesome.
back in the day, what they had me wearing on the team was murder. I mean, it was just miserable.
And the great thing also about our carrier is that it has PCM capsules. That's a phase-changing material. That's the same material used in the NASA suits. So it can regulate temperature and can lower it. So it's less sweat, better performance, and it's more comfortable for the user.
Yeah, that was important back in the day when you were a sniper. You're laying on a roof somewhere, and all that heat. It's a real problem because you start to dehydrate, and when you start to dehydrate, I'm going to show the camera what happens. This is what happens. Everything starts to shimmer and shake, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's your muscles are doing that. So this is really nice that this has a temperature controlling.
And
That's
it allows
fantastic.
me to protect myself and my family.
Absolutely,
I
yeah,
can put myself as my human body shield for my bed.
yeah, well, yeah.
And the great thing here is that you can purchase the fireman and also have the protection. So you have the best bundle together.
Exactly. And you got that good looking model there.
Yeah.
I
And it's
tell
not
you what.
just vests. They have jackets, they have helmets, they have backpacks.
That's very cool. That is very cool. All right, so you guys are MC Armor.
Yes, sir.
All right, and where are you based out of?
We're based here in Miami, Florida, but you can find us here with our amazing distributors.
Right.
You can find our product.
All right, so if somebody wanted to contact you by the internet, how would they do that?
You can contact us at www.mcarmor.com, but always you can have our distributors. You can find also our distributors.
Okay.
So we could do any orders, any other products we could order. We could even do custom fittings for body armor.
Fantastic. And if somebody was going to contact The Last Bang, how would they get to you on the internet?
We have an Instagram at The Last Bang. We're working on our website, so that should be up and running. We don't have a URL right now.
Okay.
And then our phone number 305-266-0996.
Okay, could you repeat that one more time?
305-266-0996.
Okay, thank you so much. All right.
It's heavier than our.
Okay, now the iPad is actually heavier than this insert, and this will stop a 44 Magnum.
Yes.
Pretty cool, huh?
Everything below that, the duty special, 9, 22, we're pretty much covered on handguns.
That's fantastic.
And once you put it in your bag, you're gonna forget that you have it. You just slide it where you normally put your backpack, and you're ready to go.
I'm having fun.
So we're MC Armor. We have provided more than 10,000 units to Ukraine to protect reporters, doctors, nurses. And for example, here's our Stellar jacket. It's a level 3A rated. It's a 650 denier ripstop. We have 3 panels level 3A rated that overlaps and protects. We have also, they have more than 21 pockets. And the great thing also of this product is that we can do an upgrade to a level 4 protection. So it can stop 5.56, 7.62 AP rounds, plus a standalone plate with in conjunction with panel level 3 rated. So they can go low profile, be protected, water repellent, all this part of more than 21 pockets that you can have, and all the main parts to save lives for real life heroes.
Don't forget to place your special orders here with the last bang.
Well, I do have a German name, but... So, I guess this kind of makes me a paratrooper, at least for the day. You know, you should really... Oh, man. Now, this is the best. Now, I've got a good-looking model here with me. I'm telling you, this is some pretty cool stuff. The last bang. What a gun shop.
What's your name?
Sebastian, how do I...
Hey, everybody. Bill 1911 here. Hey, listen, if you're watching this video, if you're enjoying it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, okay? That's really important to us. And make sure you like us, and by all means, come to visit us at AskBill1911.com.